Yeah, between two burns. Between two burns, yeah, between two burns. Come and join the convo. Jason and Ethan here to talk, yo. Chillin' while we filling up the room with cigar smoke. Hey, between two burns. Between two burns, yeah, between two burns. This be the show that you like. We always keeping it hype. We got cigars in the mic, talking the pipe and the pint. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Between two burns. I'm one of the burns. You're one of the burns. The people who are listening are between two burns.
We need a fan club name.
Oh yeah, like what's like Lady Gaga has the monsters and such.
So like there's that book I've been reading, Dungeon Crawler Carl. There's a cat in the book, and so her name's Princess Donut, and so her fan club's called the Princess Posse. But then there's this also competing fan club called the Donut Holes, which she doesn't like.
I like the Donut Holes.
Yeah. But we need to come up with a good fan club name.
We'll put it out to everybody.
Yeah.
If you're a real listener, if you're a real one, an OG, you know, throw something in the comments. Let us know what you think it is, and please be nice.
Yeah.
Please be nice.
Well, I feel like this is the most exciting podcast episode of the year so far.
So this is always my favorite one to do.
Yep. And now you've got to kind of take a passenger seat on this one.
I do.
It breaks my heart. It really does.
This is our PCA 2026 recap podcast. What's coming? What's going? The goings on. For those who are listening who do not know, PCA Premium Cigar Association is the preeminent cigar B2B trade organization in the industry. They hold their PCA conference. It's been called different things over the years. It was like IPCPR
and RTDA.
IPCPR and RTDA. That was what it was over the years. So it's now PCA. It's been kind of across the country in the years past. You know, for a long period of time, it was in Las Vegas. The last 2 years, including this one now, has been in New Orleans, which you just got back from, and then we're going back to Las Vegas next year.
I think it's in Vegas for 2 years.
I think it's Vegas for 2 years. Is it already? They already know it's back in New Orleans because I did see.
I think they have it planned out through 29.
Okay, that half wheel that St. Louis and somebody else had.
Don't love that St. Louis thing.
We all know obviously the stories of St. Louis. I've never stopped in St. Louis, only driven through St. Louis.
Yeah, I talked to a couple people about it at the show, and nobody was super excited about the St. Louis thing.
Well, you know, shout out St. Louis. Great sports city.
That's
City.
terrible.
Great sports
The Cardinals are there, so that makes it even worse.
Maybe we could take in Cardinals Cubs or something. Maybe that'll be going on this time.
Yeah.
But you just got back from New Orleans. Due to what everybody knows, if you're a frequent listener, we're working on our new space. Some happenings were going on for which I didn't think it would be a good idea to not be available to help facilitate those. And in the grand scheme of things, certainly glad I didn't go for those reasons, because we handled stuff on Friday and very much handled stuff on Monday that were not detrimental. What's the word I'm looking for? Pivotal. That's the word I was looking for. Not detrimental. To our happenings, which we got good news this morning, about approval of our plan. So we keep telling people we're close. We genuinely mean that. We are really, really close now. I'm okay with saying within days, because there's 365 of them in a year, so you're not really pinning yourself down. But it's going to happen quick. So we're super excited. So I said, listen, Ethan, you're a big boy. You're grown. I packed you a peanut butter sandwich. And I said,
no jelly,
no jelly. I said, take your ass to New Orleans, come back a man. Let me know how it works.
That's right. Good luck and Godspeed.
Listen, we've done the trade show together now more times than we can count. You are our guy when it comes to buying and ordering. You are our cigar geek, so you're connected more than anybody is, and we love going. It's a great time, but two, it's important that we show up there, not only because we're a member of the trade, but we have 5 stores. We probably, we're one of the leader retailers in the Mid-Atlantic. Yeah. When you look at it like that, so it's important for us to be there, see the new stuff going on.
Yeah, one of the most fascinating things all we're talking about today is PCA, but this is, I know everybody wants to talk about the cigars, but one thing I wanted to mention that was fascinating is I had multiple retailers that were opening new stores in North Carolina come up to me, and they, we've all got name tags that says my name and then the Pipe and Pint on it, and they came up and saw the Pipe and Pint, and we're like, hey, we're so-and-so opening up here and here. Like, we love what you guys do, and we appreciate that. We do not take that for granted. And then I didn't tell you this, but when I was in my meeting with Romacraft, there was a guy that works for a retailer in Pennsylvania. Never met him before. He said, oh, Pipe and Pint. I love you guys. You have a great store. I used to live in Greensboro. I worked at Guilford College when you guys were in your original location.
Oh, nice.
You guys took great care of me. I'm glad to hear y'all are doing well. So it's really cool to see that kind of stuff, meet those people. Met Todd Johnson, the state senator that owns the cigar shop.
Yep.
Saw Craig Cass there, had a good conversation with him with Tinderbox. So, it sounds a little prestigious to say, but I really mean it when, like, I say the movers and shakers are at PCA. Everybody's 100%. There together. Big dogs, little dogs, manufacturers, doesn't matter. Everybody's there kind of together doing business, but also the sense of community of the cigar industry is there.
And you touched on one thing right there. It's a business event.
Yeah, that was one thing I was going to really hammer down.
When we talk about this, because we have so many customers like, oh, I'd love to go. It's so cool and stuff like that. 100%. Is it cool? Yes. It really doesn't. But if you were a consumer, you're going to be, I don't want to say disappointed, because let's just say theoretically you snuck a consumer in. They'd be happy because they'd get to meet everybody and everything like that. But this is 3 days during the show days of doing business, making orders, talking about real products. If you want to meet all of these people and smoke a ton of cigars and have that kind of environment, like what's going on, and see swag and stuff like that, the Great Smoke,
the Big Smoke,
literally
anything but PCA.
Yeah,
like go to a consumer event.
It's a B2B trade show.
Well, and one of the things that our good friend Mr. Mike Martello was there, got to spend some quality time with him. He and his business partner are opening a new store in Jersey, along with another exciting project we'll get to later. But he had never been before, and even he opening a store was having trouble getting in front of people, because at the end of the day, these manufacturers are there to sell product. And if you're not there buying, they have other people that they can go talk to that will be buying.
And listen, especially if you're new.
Yeah.
The way we do it, and I think most people do it, is your local representative makes appointments throughout the day. They've got, typically 30 minutes, sometimes hour blocks. The hour block, a lot of people do, seems silly to me. I think a 30-minute block is fine, but they book all of these up so they know who's coming and at what time. And you think about it, if you're the rep for North and South Carolina, Virginia, Georgia, Kentucky, Tennessee, which is a fairly reasonable territory that we see a lot of people do. Think of how many stores could potentially be coming, right? All the stores in North Carolina, big cities, Greenville, Atlanta, into these all things. So, they're cramming them in over 3 days, and they managed to do it. So,
and not only that, but you've got walk-up clients coming in.
Yeah,
and if they happen to be free, they end up handling it, or at least handling it until they can pass it along to their rep. And I mean, it's just they're handling business.
Actually, was Mike able to make appointments, or were they just walking up?
So he had some appointments, but he was walking up. I actually helped him.
I know you introduced him to some folks.
Yeah, I introduced him to some people. And, they were there buying. They weren't just there connecting with everybody.
Buying,
But that was the one thing I told him is, when, with us, we've got an established business. I have a good gateway into conversations with retailers or manufacturers that we don't carry.
Yep.
Because we can walk into the booth and say, hey, with the Pipe and Pint in North Carolina, been in business for 30 years almost. We've got 5 stores across the state. And that right there alone says,
that's
okay,
enough.
These guys are serious. We're
fortunate enough, too, that we're at the point now with the 5 stores and, talk and chatter and years that you probably don't need to get past Pipe and Pint before somebody realizes.
No. But, when you're a new store, you're trying to pitch the manufacturer, especially with companies that aren't really opening new accounts like Padron or LFD or Fuente, it's really hard to get in front of somebody that can make stuff happen for you. And so bringing it back to the consumer side of things, no offense to any consumer, but you're not there spending money, so they're not willing to give you the time of day.
Yeah, that's not.
It doesn't make any sense.
This isn't a samples fest. Like, I want a free cigar, that kind of thing. That's what the Big Smoke is for and stuff like that. And listen, there are retailers guilty of that behavior.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
More worried about how many free cigars they get for themselves to smoke versus like buying for the health of their company or whatever it may be.
Yeah, and one thing I wanted to make clear too about this is like the scope and size of the show, and again, back to the business thing. So a lot of people have asked me what's the best cigar I smoked at the show, and we'll talk about that. But I actually got a sinus infection, came on Saturday night into Sunday morning. Sick. I didn't smoke at all on Sunday, and it was a very stark reminder of like, hey, this is business. It is pleasurable, but we're here to do business. But from the scope side of things, I average 20,000 steps a day.
Hell yeah.
Like, that's walking around the trade show floor. You may have one meeting on one end, one meeting on the other end. It's a big convention center. Like, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of walking. It's a lot of business. It's a lot of talking. And you have to go in with a plan and a strategy. Otherwise, you're going to be overwhelmed and not get anything accomplished.
Yep.
So, like, when we're at this thing, when I was at this thing this year, when we've been in the past, yes, it's fun. It is fun. There's no doubt about it. But we are there to do business because we want to take advantage of deals. We want to take advantage of getting new product, but we also want to be able to see what we can bring into the shop to excite the consumer, and we're going to talk a lot about that today. Some brands that we're, possibly thinking about, that we're excited about, that we talk to. But again, those meetings are business.
Yeah. Yep. All right, so we're gonna kick it off. Like I told you, because I wasn't there. Obviously, you've recapped a lot of this with me and everything like that. But we're going to kind of walk everybody through the day-to-day of it. It's the show. Essentially, is Friday through Monday. No show floor on Friday, but State of the Union type of stuff on Friday. State and local legislation stuff on Friday meetings. Friday evening, the party in the park, what we'll get to. And then after that this year, I don't think you were able to go, but they had an additional party somewhere where they did like the Best of Leaf Awards and stuff like that.
Yeah, I will say I didn't go in there, but I really appreciated what they did this year because last year, if you remember, we had a really hard time finding somewhere to smoke after the fact.
Yeah.
There were like a couple shops and a couple bars that we could smoke at, but New Orleans overall isn't a smoker-friendly city.
Yep.
The place that was right next to the park, there was this giant warehouse. That was actually a PCA after-hours facility where you could go in and smoke. Big old warehouse every single night that was open up. And it was open till like 2 a.m. Now, again, I never went, but it was cool that they were doing that to allow people to come together, congregate, have plenty of seating, so you didn't have to find a bar or a hotel or anything. But that's where they did the Best of the Leaf Awards that evening.
And I like them doing it Friday night because I feel like last year we were on the show floor finishing up a meeting, and then they were doing it. And I think that may have been, I can't remember if it was Saturday or Sunday.
I feel like it was Saturday. But
Saturday.
I don't
but like
either.
it felt weird because it was just kind of off to the side in a ballroom, and people accepted words. You've been dragging ass all day, smoking cigars, stuff like that. At least on the Friday night, people were ready to really be there, get the kind of the show kicked off with a bang. All right, so for you, Friday, get down there lunchtime-ish, right? A little after lunch, something like that. You get there, check into the hotel, and obviously first for you and I last year and first for this year is always pick up your badge at the thing.
Which was funny, by the way. They gave me an exhibitor badge. I don't know if I told you that.
Exhibitor?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was an accident.
Oh, okay, gotcha. But it had your name on it and everything?
Yeah.
And our name and
I ended
everything?
up getting it switched out because I didn't want to walk up to companies and then be like, oh, you're exhibiting. We're not going to talk to you.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
they did that.
Yeah,
It's
that's
completely tangential.
Yeah.
But it was funny.
So you pick up badge, and then after that, it's the first party of the week, which we talked about this. New Orleans, last year when I was with you, was awesome. I think the weather was perfect again, except for some rain Sunday morning this time. The big deal is that Friday night kickoff party. Last year they had perfect weather for it. It looks like this year you guys had perfect weather for it. So
Yeah,
you kind of take me through Washington Square Park. Is that what it's called?
Yep. No, something like that.
Or Mississippi
Memorial
River
Square,
State,
Mississippi, I don't
something
know.
like that. Yeah, park.
It's right across from the convention
Yeah,
center.
right down by the water, right by the convention
You know,
center.
last year we talked about how good of a job they did with it, and I think this year word got out because it felt like it was double the amount of people.
Yeah, yeah.
Now they do a good job. There's 4 different manufacturers that were there handing out cigars, and then QI was also giving out free Zycar lighters, which I love, and I've never understood why they don't do this. But, you know, you're not supposed to fly with these things or cutters.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people, when you get down there, don't have cutters or lighters. Why they don't give out cheap paleo cutters and lighters as a promotional thing
We've
is
talked about this. We've
beyond
talked about
me.
this every time. Why, whoever it is, QI, you want to do a sponsorship for it, everybody who checks in, you get a little, we'll call it a gift bag. It's right. It's a bag with the flyers in it and stuff like that you can pick up.
Yeah.
But why, when you get a badge, that you don't get, it would be perfect for a Paleo Vesuvio, right? Single flame, whatever, or cheap, even if it's, whatever.
Whatever.
Give it to the person, because every time we're there, you don't fly down with a cutter and lighter just because you know it's going to get taken away. You're running that risk. And so then the whole show, you're hunting for a cutter and a lighter from every rep and stuff like that. It usually works out, but it's nice just to have one to touch up or whatever it is. And it would be so much more impactful from a sponsorship thing, I would think. It's like, let me give everybody here a branded lighter that says QI, call us. Or like, even if it was those black rubberized ones, which are the cheapest ones I think you can get. And on the one side, it had their logo, and on the other side, it had their booth number.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, shit, you know what? These got to be dirt cheap. Let me see how much it is to get my logo on them.
Yeah.
Huge missed opportunity.
Agreed. But I will say this year they did give out free Zycar lighters of all things.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
I mean, it's like I can't remember if it was $60 or $80 lighter. So they were giving these out at the pregame party. And then Dunbarton, Espinosa, Guy Fieri was there. They were giving out.
Did he take you to Pound Town? I mean, Flavor Town?
Oh, he didn't. Sorry. Greg maybe, but not me. Then General Cigar had the new CAO Flathead Speed Shop there. Then there was a little bit of a confusing thing. So this park is a massive rectangle, basically. Food was at the back. Cigars were on the side. Espinosa was in the middle. So I walked in on the left-hand side and looked over to my right, and I saw this big banner that said E.H. Taylor. And I was like,
and then you got a chubby boner.
I did. I was excited. I was like, I'm going to get some good bourbon. And so, like I said, there were a lot more people than last year. I get in these lines. I waited in line for 20 minutes for this lighter and then another 20 minutes for my first cigar. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to go get in this line, and I'm going to get some bourbon. I get up there, and it's the E.H. Taylor cigar. Imagine my disappointment. Imagine my and a box opener, which is really weird. I left it in New Orleans because I didn't want it. It looked like
like one of those small.
Yeah, like the metal box opener
Yeah,
things.
yeah,
They're like,
yeah,
here,
yeah.
and literally every person in front of me was like, what is this?
Yeah.
Anyways, but the PCA party for me was about reconnecting with people we hadn't seen in a long time. And I say hadn't seen in a long time. I hung out with Greg. I hung out with Franklin. And then Mike ended up coming. And I got to see Mike, and I got to meet his new business partner. And so we hung out there for a little while, and then they do a great job. I was actually sitting in the concourse of the convention center waiting on the guys to show up, and all of a sudden I hear this music start playing. This year they had a Mardi Gras band that opened up the party.
Oh,
that was
I saw
playing,
that. It
doing the
looked
dancing
awesome.
and
Yeah,
everything,
yeah.
really cool.
Yep.
The Cuban music that they were playing was great, and then the food. I didn't really eat any, but they had the whole grilled oysters. They had po' boys. They had jambalaya. They had gumbo. They had a whole 9 yards. So the opening party, I mean, they knock it out of the park.
There was something last year, a fried fish sandwich maybe or something like that was just off the charts good.
Yep.
Off the charts good.
But yeah, and then they opened it up for the awards after that. I went to dinner with Franklin and the marketing manager, Phil Aldisi, at a place called Galliano's that night. Had the best pork chop of my life. I told you about that.
Yep.
So good that I ate it again Saturday night. But yeah, it was one of those things. Greg sent me a message and said, hey, I'm going out with some friends, and we're going to this bar. I can't remember the name of it. Howlin' Monkey, I think, was it? I don't know. It doesn't matter. He was like, you want to come out? And I was like, man, I got up at 4:30 in the morning to get on the plane. I'm exhausted. It was about 10:30 at that point. So I went back to the hotel room, and I got to bed because I knew how long of a day Saturday was going to be.
Yeah, you don't want to be fighting through Saturday.
No.
You can go out a little bit later and fight through Sunday after a late night Saturday.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. But
Saturday,
the first day, you don't want to set the tone with feeling like shit.
Nope.
Yeah. All right. So, I mean, Friday's pretty casual. Like I said, meetings, you know, state and local meetings, and things of that nature. I'm sure there's some other stuff that gets done with some of the bigger companies as far as, I'd be curious if, like, you know, tobacco buying gets done a little bit on Fridays and stuff like that. I'd be curious. But, and then we move into Saturday. So Saturday, first full day. Before we get into Saturday, we're smoking a couple of things that you brought back. Before we're already finished with them, before we get to the Saturday stuff, let's talk about these. So a couple of things that we're thinking about. You kind of went with some action items in mind, right? Yep. We wanted to talk to some boutique-y people because we're thinking about adding that in as we get into the new humidor and everything like that. So you gave me, now Cole gave us what he believes to be the correct pronunciation.
Yeah, I've always called it Paustani. I think it's Postano?
Something like that.
He said it's Dutch, and the only thing that came to mind was I don't speak freaky deaky Dutch from Golden Member.
Yeah.
But made at Nicasueña, which is Roma Craft's factory. That I thought was the Connecticut, but actually it looks like the Corojo or Habano.
It's the Justice is the name of it.
How is it?
It's great.
Good. So I smoked Sunday morning.
I like the size, which I assume this is a...
It's like a Corona Gorda.
Yeah, Corona Gorda. Yeah, that's what I was just going to say.
So Sunday morning, I met with them, and I smoked half full number 2 cigar of the year last year, which was their San Andreas Corona. And even with the sinus infection, I thought it was incredible. But we'll talk about them in a little bit. I really like what they're doing. I was curious to see what you thought about that cigar.
Yep, so far, excellent.
I am smoking the brand new West Tampa Barbershop.
Oh.
Don't know what the blend is on it. They're keeping it undisclosed. I think they said it was shipping in June. I really like it so far. I'd say medium plus, great chocolatey note, a little bit of leather, little creamy. It's got a touch of spice on the retro. Big fan. I think it's a really good cigar. They've done a good job with it. So
yeah.
And then we've got some other stuff.
When we light those up,
we'll get to. Maybe that'll be the Sunday day cigar.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so Sunday you're up and at it. Breakfast
Saturday.
is in your belly.
Yep.
You're ready to go.
The European continental breakfast.
You had European continental breakfast.
Cocoa puffs and some salami and cheese.
Were you close enough to be able to walk?
I walked everywhere. Yep. It was about a mile, but it was a nice walk.
Okay, good.
From the hotel.
Yeah. All right. So take us through it. Right, Saturday, you bust through the doors. The lights the bright lights are shining on you. You know?
Yeah, first thing I did was find Greg and find out what kind of escapades he went at Friday night. Man's an animal. First meeting was to no one's surprise, Tatuaje.
Go figure.
Yeah, go figure. I know. I'm a sucker.
You had to get the door prize. Make sure you were there for it. They're giving away stuffed animals. You had to make sure you got one.
That's right. Free tattoo. So Tatuaje, honestly, out of all of the companies that we carry...
But to be fair, I'm poking fun. But we did strategically say, let's do Tatuaje first because they sell out. In the past, they have done a PCA exclusive cigar that can only be ordered at the show, and it's in limited quantities. We made the mistake a couple years ago. We didn't meet with them until the second day, and it was gone by the mid-afternoon, I think the first day.
Yep.
So we strategically, even though they are your baby doll, we did make that arrangement intentionally.
Yeah. Now, funny enough, no PCA cigar this year. But...
ironically.
Yeah, they did have, in my opinion, from just thinking about it, the most new product announced at the show of anyone that we currently carry. So this year is the 20th anniversary of the Tatuaje Black Label and Havana 6.
Okay.
So they're doing 2 separate limited edition sizes of the 20th anniversary of those cigars. That was pre-ordered. And then they are doing an El Triunfador Havana Cazador size, which is 6 3/4 by 43, if I'm not mistaken. The thing about Tatuaje is they never give solid dates on when this stuff is coming. They just say summer or fall. So I'm not 100% sure when those are coming, but they have been pre-ordered. I did get a sample of it. I have not smoked it yet because I've been sick, so I've been trying to save the stuff I'm really excited about from my palate's back.
Yep.
But with that being said, they announced a lot of other stuff. said that Creature from the Black Lagoon, which has only been available in the Monster Smash and Monster Mash samplers, is getting a full release. They had May as on the sell sheet of when that's coming. Who knows? They also had on display a...
Seems weird.
Yeah, well, it's this year would be the Jason monster, so
Oh,
I don't think Creature's replacing Jason. It's its own thing.
Gotcha.
They're also doing Old Man in the Sea. So Old Man in the Sea is their Culebra that it released. The first one he ever did was in 2010, if I'm not mistaken, with El Trumfador. The most popular one, most famous one, was the Black Label Old Man in the Sea, and then they did the Fausto Old Man in the Sea most recently in 21. This is actually going to be a Creature Old Man in the Sea Culebra. It's the Havana Cazador side instead of a Lancero. No release date on it. No idea when it's coming. Not even sure if it's going to come this year.
Yeah.
But they did have that on display. They had another Culebra on display that was like an A size, like 9 inches long by 48-ish. Don't know anything about that, but they had it. They had a really cool ashtray. They had a coffin ashtray that they're releasing with Creature. It's like a thick silicone.
Okay.
Really cool.
I'm here for that. Yeah.
And then they announced that they're doing the La Riqueza SE this year. And so it'll be La Riqueza and the La Riqueza Tuxtla in a special size. Again, that was not available for order, but was limited edition coming this year. Now, that was a quick meeting because we knew I knew about it.
Yeah, we knew. There's a lot of this stuff that we know well in advance.
Yep.
Like we go with a strategy, with a plan. Like you and I sit down, even when we're going together, and we map out. Like we know we need to make sure we knock down X, Y, and Z.
Correct.
Right. These are the important things because again, business. Right. We'll have time to drop in on other things, but yeah, we're working towards a real goal.
But this was actually one of the rare times where our rep is actually a broker, and he represents other brands. So we finished up with Tatuaje quickly, and then he took me over to Domain. Now, last year, you and I got introduced to Domain.
Yeah,
we both smoked one, really good. So I went over and talked to those folks. Their master blender used to work at Nicasueña, Romacraft. They have 4 different lines. The one that I smoked last year was awesome. I know you really liked the one you smoked last year.
Yep.
I like what they're doing.
I do too.
We'll see what happens.
Yep.
Love their boxes. Love the idea on the boxes. But then I also went over and saw Hoya and Quesada. So, they just recently created their own distribution company called SAG. Hoya's got some cool stuff coming out. They're doing the red, white, and blue for the 250. They're doing a...
It's going to be a lot of that.
Yeah. That was the theme this year. Small cigars and 250.
In the 250
That was
US
the 2
anniversary.
themes this year.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of... And listen, we've already talked about we might be guilty of it as well.
Yeah, we are. Ours is the coolest.
Yeah, ours will be the coolest.
I saw a lot of them. Ours will be the coolest.
Undoubtedly.
Hoya's bringing the Rosalia back to the... this is a cigar that was blended for the market in Spain. They're bringing it to America. Cole smoked it yesterday and said it tasted like Dr. Pepper, so that's something.
Not only did he say it tasted like Dr. Pepper, he came in this morning and was trying to force me to smoke it to get confirmation that he's not like having a stroke or something like that. I think that's how much he believed it tasted like Dr. Pepper, which is that's nuanced stuff, right? There you're picking up. He's picking up on certain spice notes that are familiar with there.
Yeah. And then Quesada, Manolo's 80th birthday cigar. Was what they were pumping, but then they were also pumping a new sweet cap cigar that they're doing. It seems like they're going after that.
It's a Quesada or a Hoya?
It's a Quesada. It's a Quesada, yep. They're going after that, not necessarily Deadwood's market. I think they're going more for the Baccarat market. It's not flavored. It's just sweet capped. I got a couple of them. There's 2 different wrappers. Hadn't smoked it yet. But, it's interesting.
This will be a quick sidebar, but, we've heard this in the past, and every year someone tries... I feel like the manufacturers, I won't say given up, but there seems to be a white flag, like we've given, or again, I'm searching for a word here, but we've given...
Seeded.
Thank you.
I'm two for two today, baby.
Dictionary. To Drew...
Yeah.
This is what y'all do. You do it the best.
Yep.
We're probably not going to meander in this field. So when they have been doing flavored stuff, it seems to be very much in the lightly sweetened, gently touched, sweet cap Baccarat kind of market.
And they weren't the only one. We'll talk about another one here in a little bit. Actually, another two. The only other company that really has a stronghold on that market is the Tatiana stuff. Which,
and different cigar, in my opinion.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Agreed.
Yeah.
But there's a company that's actually going after that market a little bit that we'll get
interesting.
to from Sunday. But yeah, that meeting set the tone really well. It was good to meet with companies that we've either carried in the past and aren't familiar with what they're doing these days, and then a new company that we're actually excited about to get some more samples of, to learn a little bit more about, to see what we might be able to do within the future. So that, now mind you, I just told you all that, and for everybody listening, that was in 30 minutes, right? So that sets the tone,
for your day,
what this is.
Yeah,
right?
how much running around it is.
Yep. So right after that, Foundation.
Yep.
Foundation, one of the easiest meetings that I had the whole time I was there. Foundation did not have any new cigars coming out.
Which is not a surprise.
No.
Playing catch up still, getting themselves back into the correct position and all that.
But I will say their booth is awesome.
They always have a great booth.
It was the first booth you saw when you walked in the door.
Oh, you could see
it was busy every single time.
You could see the pyramid and all that.
Yeah, I mean, like, it was literally the first thing you saw. It was up front. First thing when you walk through the door.
That's certainly the first time I've seen them that prominent.
Yes.
They have a tendency to be in the middle, which is always good, but they've been middle, back third or
very
something
front
like
row when you walk through the door. Awesome. And it was busy every time I walked by. Good news for anybody listening. We were able to secure some more Foundation 10th anniversary. They should be here in the next couple weeks. That's not new, but that's exciting because
they're awesome.
They're awesome. It was one of our favorite cigars from last year.
Yep.
So that was good. It's always good to see Eduardo and Nate and the other Nate.
Yeah, they're doing it right.
Yep.
Listen, we talk about this stuff, and we can't see everybody. We can't carry everything. But we had made a strategic decision to do business with those guys. We consider ourselves friends with those guys, Eduardo, Nate, Nick, Greg, obviously pulls double duty with us and them. So we have a great relationship that's, continue to grow every year.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it works for everybody, let's be honest.
Yep. So that was a nice, hey, how y'all doing kind of thing. But next meeting was with Davidoff, Avo, Zeno, Camacho.
Yep.
Which I knew that there was a new Zeno coming out, which is really exciting. When the Zeno Nicaragua, the Connecticut, came out a couple of years ago, we brought it in and it took off immediately. We still sell a ton of it.
Yep.
But the first thing we said when we saw the people from Davidoff was, when are you doing a Maduro?
Yeah.
And guess
you
what?
knew it was coming.
Yeah. Knew it was coming. I smoked it yesterday. I thought it was great. It's the same price point as the Zeno Nicaragua Connecticut. So that is going to be here at the end of June.
Yep.
And then they had a new Avo, extension, something like that. I can't remember the name. Don't even know what the blend is on it. I can't remember. I got one. I have not smoked it yet. But what was really cool was the middle of the Davidoff booth was the Avo experience. And so you walked back in there and they had the new branding on the wall. So Avo is going to go through a whole new repackaging. So this is the start of that rebranding kind of thing. Okay. But back in that room, they had all the artwork for the new cigar. And there was also a mocktail lounge. And they were doing like energy drink mocktails back there, which I thought was actually kind of cool.
That's not bad.
Because Davidoff always does the Cuban coffee or espresso shots when you sit down with them. So that's what they did this year. I did see the new Davidoff Puro Dominicana, which we're not going to get. Obviously, we're not a white label retailer, but it's the first black banded Davidoff in 10 years. So if you're a Davidoff fan, that is coming. And then Camacho Liberty 250, again, common theme.
Yep.
That is something coming this summer. So we will be getting the Zeno Honduras, and we will be getting a couple boxes of the new Avo. So if that's your speed, that is coming. They said that they were set to be on retailer shelves June the 25th.
Okay.
Yep.
Was Law in there with the whole trailer setup for
Didn't
Zeno?
have the trailer, but he was there.
Oh, they didn't do the trailer in there.
Didn't do the
Interesting.
trailer.
I always thought that was a good way to do it because you could just drag all your product in there like with the trailer.
Yeah. The only other thing that's kind of in that booth is Ferio Tego. They don't own Ferio Tego, but they distribute it.
Oh, so did they share the booth with them?
It was right beside it, and it felt like it was part of it.
Okay, yeah. Because in the years past, then I don't remember that it necessarily was, right?
No, I don't. I think it may have been split up, but yeah, they were right beside each other. It had a similar theme and style as the Davidoff booth, so it felt like it was there.
Intentional.
I didn't get to talk to Herklotz, unfortunately. Every time I walked by, I wanted to say something. He was talking to somebody, but talking about the other theme of small cigars, they've got some new small cigars coming out in the Metropolitan line, and I think they're 5 or 6 packs. And then the Metro 30 was on display. The Metropolitan 30th anniversary was on display. So, you know, they do a great job with their booth. It's one of the nicest and cleanest setups, in my opinion.
Yep.
And they're very professional. Kara Lee and I had a good meeting. So, yep. Exciting stuff coming from them. After that was a fan favorite of my father. My father had already announced their 2 new cigars.
Yep.
They didn't have any surprises for us, but they did have one surprise, and that's that the new cigar is supposedly coming within the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So this new cigar coming out of the Honduras factory, everybody knows how well the blue has done for them, and we've talked about it on this podcast before. This new one is Ecuadorian Habano, if I'm not mistaken, with Honduran binders and fillers, and you smoked it yesterday.
Thought it was good.
How was it? Yeah,
it was great. So if we're using kind of blue, which was last year's new cigar, which is still maybe the hottest cigar on the market, you know, as far as the new cigar is concerned, a couple, at least a few notches up in spice is how I would describe it. But in that neither of them are what I would call in the Honduran wheelhouse of what you traditionally think Honduran. But similar in profiles, but definitely so this is what I would say, is if this came out last year and this came in vice versa, because we were so caught off guard by the blue last year. And if you're a My Father stan, right, and that's what you smoke and stuff like that, you wouldn't have recognized the blue as a My Father product, even though it's awesome, right? From just like your overall general experience with it. Had this been vice versa, this one gives a Honduran My Father vibe to me, right? Like especially initially with that peppery spice up front.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I've got one to smoke. I was going to smoke it today, but I think I'm going to wait till tomorrow. I'm really excited to smoke it. And then the other new thing coming from them is the Don Pepin, not Cuban Classic, but the Classico 20th anniversary. Supposedly you can't use the name Cuba on a band at this point, so they couldn't call it the Cuban Classic 20th anniversary.
But at one point in time, it was called Cuban Classic,
It's
right?
still called Cuban Classic.
Okay, yeah.
But I guess that band name is grandfathered in, but
gotcha.
because it was a new cigar,
This is a new variation of it. Gotcha.
They couldn't do it. It's the 20th anniversary of
Which
the
is one of
Cuban
my
Classic.
favorite My Father cigars. I've told you that.
Yeah.
I like the vibe of it. I like the flavor, the styling. I loved the black band.
Yeah.
To be honest
and
with you.
it looks exactly like that.
Great.
Right. I mean,
Perfect.
It looks great. The one thing I think that they're doing well and that I'm glad they're doing is they have really dialed back the pricing on their limiteds. You know, at one point they were 40 and then La Union came out at 60. The cigar is going to retail for $22.
There we go. That's better.
20 count box. Those will be coming. I did not get a sample of that. They didn't have samples of that. From what I was told, it's like a lot of their limited editions. Tweaked blend with the Palo de Oro in it.
Yep.
So be a little on the lookout for that. They told us next week or two. We'll see if it happens, but that's what they told us.
And that's all we got.
And
that's all we've got is their word, and their word is strong as oak.
Yeah, that's right. So next after that was Perdomo.
Perdomo.
Now, interesting thing about Perdomo that you and I know is in the past they haven't brought their reps out. It's really just been Ralph and Arthur and a couple office
guys. It's usually
guys.
onesie, twosies reps. They usually pick 2 reps, maybe 3, sometimes few as 1, that just kind of handles the overflow and everything like that.
I will say, I don't know if it's because they had more reps with them or they're going to be thankful they did bring more reps. Every time I walked by that booth, it was rocking. I mean, absolutely rocking.
So, you know, and we'll get into what, you know, is or isn't exciting or whatever it may be. I am the most excited personally for their new cigar. And I'll let you talk about it in a second here, but this father and son legacy, they hit a cigar home run last year with Legacy. And, you know, maybe everybody doesn't feel the same way about it as we do, but generally speaking, it made just about everybody's list in way, shape, or form. So they've this new quote unquote legacy, and then combined and how it's coming, stuff like that. I'm excited just because it's kind of like it's a heat check.
Yeah.
Like, are you gonna nail this 3, or is it you're gonna be like, oh, you know what I mean, that kind of thing.
Yep.
So I'm the most interested, most intrigued, and most excited to see this cigar because how much I personally like Legacy, how well it's done, how well it's been received, and how different it was from their normal line, right? Excuse me. So this coming on the heels of it, staying in the family of the Legacy, line. Let's say line. There's not a lot riding on it, right? Because they're Perdomo, they're doing great. But I really think that they did some. These are bad words because it sounds like, but they gave a little juice to the brand last year. I don't want to say revive, but gave a little.
Well, I think
where
they
people
brought in.
were like, oh,
I thought they brought in like a different customer base, right?
Mm-hmm.
Perdomo's never been really well recognized by the boutique guys, but the Legacy was so different that the boutique guys that normally don't smoke Perdomo
You're
got
like,
excited
dude, I want
about
some
it.
more of that. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Yep.
So real quick, that Legacy Father and Son is what it's called,
Yep.
correct?
So Legacy Father and Son. It's one size with 3 different wrappers like they do. It is a box press Salomon or Perfecto. I call it a Salomon because it's I think a 58 at the bottom and like a 52 at the top. So no samples of it. They just had it on display. The interesting thing about it is a tweaked blend of the Legacy. So they're using some lower priming leaves of that Corojo Cameroon hybrid in it. And from what they told us, it sounds like the Cameroon flavor profile is more pronounced. So that nutty baker spice kind of sweetness that Cameroon can have, that is the flavor that's more pronounced in these cigars because they're using the lower priming.
Gotcha.
The spice is dialed back on it. They're coming in 50 count chests. They're not coming until Q4. If you see on Half Wheel's website that they're coming out May 20th, Two Guys Smoke Shop is actually getting the early release of it, just like they did with Legacy.
Oh, so that's what that is?
So that's what
Okay.
that is.
Yeah.
They told us it was Q3, Q4 still. But, I mean, that booth was rocking. They did have a couple other things. One of them was one of the... We're going to humble Perdomo just a little bit here.
Sure, go ahead.
One of them was one of the silliest things I saw at the show, and that was
Hell
this
yeah.
new Perdomo Versus sampler. So they're doing a sampler where you get one of each champagne and one of each Habano. And the point is to smoke the Connecticut's against each other, and then there's a QR code on the box to go and rate them. And then you smoke the Sungrowns, and then you smoke the Maduros. And, like, I get it, but, like, it's $70 retail. Yeah, $69.99 retail for the 6 cigars in the sampler pack.
Oh, there's 6 in it. Okay. I thought for some... I had 4 in my head for a second there. I was like, what?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it does for them. But they did have something else, which was really interesting. And we got this really, like, not weird, but, like, kind of cryptic email.
Cryptic email.
Right before the show that they were going to be displaying a new lighter in their booth. So I found out some more about that. It's called the Pro Flame lighter. This lighter retails for $30. And
Good space.
Agreed.
Good space.
And
below the ultra premium lighters that you're worried about losing or breaking, but of quality and design better than your $10 to $15 stick it in the trunk
and I say this as a compliment because this could be taken as not a compliment depending on what kind of lighter you're talking about. It felt like a $30 lighter. So what I mean by that, aluminum body, metal top, not plastic, nicer than like the Paleos or Jet Lines or whatever.
Yes, exactly.
But not as nice as your $50, $60 Zicars.
No, right.
Right. So it doesn't try to pretend to be something it's not, but it seems to be really good at what it is. But what it is it's almost like a fusion of a soft flame and a torch. So there's a lot of different jets that are down in the lighter, and they come up to form a torch flame, but it doesn't get quite as hot as what your normal torch lighter does. So it allows the flames to engulf the foot of the cigar so that you get an even light on it. Whereas, like, with this lighter and every lighter, torch lighter, you get one flame that has heat directed at one point.
Yep.
The point of this is to be able to spread that heat out from the flame so that you can get your cigar lit more evenly. And I found out on Sunday, I went actually and talked to the guys at their booth. Perdomo is not making this lighter. Nick Perdomo loved this lighter so much that he asked these guys if he could be the distributor of it this year. This is made by the people that make Bugatti lighters.
Okay.
So that is who's doing this. They've incorporated this flame type they have as patent. They own the patent on it. That is the flame in all of their lighters now. So they actually had some higher end Bugatti lighters on display that had that flame in it, but this was what they were pushing. So I'm actually really excited for that lighter. When we first saw it, I thought it was kind of hokey. After seeing it, playing with it, and hearing about it, it does feel like a way to innovate the torch lighter without changing it too much, right? So like I'll talk about Sunday QI with their new Zycar lighter. They innovated in a way that I think didn't meet the mark. Whereas this lighter, with the price point and the way it looks and the way it feels and everything, fits exactly what they tried to do, and I think customers will like it. I will keep one. I will get one for myself. I think you're going to love it. I think we could do some pipe and pint branding with it in the future.
Yep.
You know, it really cool lighter. I know Josh Walston, shout out Josh, said he wanted to see the new lighters and everything, and that was not the one I thought that I'd be bragging about, but
No one loves a new lighter.
like Josh Walston.
Josh Ralston does.
Yeah.
Shout out Josh, my guy. I dare to even look in what that man's lighter setup is. If it's new, if it's cool, my guy wants it.
Yep.
And I appreciate that.
Yep. Yep. So that was Perdomo. So all those, again, let's talk about timing here. That was 30-minute meetings, back to back to back to back to back. Right?
Yep.
So I finally put myself a little break in here to get some lunch, but I did have Aganorsa next. Aganorsa, love them. Know them.
Yep.
We already knew what was coming out. Nothing really new and crazy, but the new International Supreme Leaf in both the Robusto and the Toro size, they are bringing to the U.S. market. I was told that it was a tweaked blend.
So it's in our bag.
Yes, and I smoked it.
You've already smoked it.
I smoked it.
So I would like to smoke that maybe tomorrow or something like that. Visually, it looks different than the other Supreme Leaf. The wrapper looks, at least on first glance when I saw it in there, I was like, oh, because I wasn't sure, didn't realize that you'd gotten samples from it. Looks at least a few shades darker.
The funny thing about it, though, is it felt not as strong as Supreme Leaf.
Okay. Well,
now, the pepper was still there.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong. It's still Aganorsa. It's going to have some strength to it, but it did feel slightly dialed back, maybe just in the slightest. Core flavor profile was there, though, from what I could tell. It was still good. So we will be getting that. I think they said June, but I'm not 100% sure. And then they're doing a Supreme Leaf sampler, which samplers are tough. We talked about this before we went.
Yeah. From your perspective as a store manager and retailer, and then mine as the owner, samplers can be tough because you need to really sell them as a sampler.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we could, not, but what's going to happen if you don't is folks are going to gravitate to the elite Supreme Leaf. All the Supreme Leaf have been very good. Not one of them would I describe as like, missed or something like that. But there have been a couple Vitolas that have been bangers, knockout, drag down, just unbelievably good cigars. So what people do, they're going to grab those first if you're selling them out. So yeah, as a sampler is the way we'd like to do it, but we'll see how that thing. So, yeah, that's always tough.
Yeah, we got a couple.
It's even tough with Opus samplers.
Yeah. You got to have the right buyer that wants to smoke that cigar in all the different sizes. I think we've got a couple customers that will want it, so we did grab a couple.
Oh yeah, we'll have them. We'll have them. Listen, we love Aganorsa. They're a great partner.
They're great.
Undoubtedly.
Samplers are tough. Now they also had Tubo Anniversario Connecticut's, which Tubo's also tough. You're either a Tubo retailer or you're not, and we are not.
I don't know. It's just an interesting dynamic to put it in a tube and then get a little bit of a premium on it. Like just because it's in a metal tube, like it's not sold for us ever. Yeah. Now we don't carry many because we know it doesn't sell.
Yep.
Yeah.
But then they also had a Connecticut fresh pack, which is interesting. It's a new Cuba Superior, a JFR Connecticut, a Validation Connecticut, and an Aniversario Connecticut. If I'm not mistaken, I think they told me the retail on that pack was $29.99, but that math don't math in my head because that's like $45 worth of cigars.
And maybe that's what they're going for.
But if that is the case, that will be the best value Humi pack that we have.
100%. Yeah.
Just because the Aniversario Connecticut alone is a $17 cigar.
Yep.
Validation's 10, JFR, I think the Robusto, it's 9, and then the new Cuba Superior is $8.50. So I mean, we'll be getting those.
It's an interesting dichotomy of cigars, though, right? Like, it's a little harder now. New Cuba Superior is not like Deadwoods. It's very much like more sweet cap than a back wrap, but in that kind of realm. Yeah. But the person who picks up a fresh pack and says, I want the Aniversario Connecticut and a new Cuba Superior, not as many of those people.
Yeah.
But if the value's there, it ain't really going to matter.
All right, listen, I'd buy it just to get the 3, and then I'd give the other one away, and I think you still save money.
Yeah.
Instead of buying those 3 outright.
Yep.
So we will be getting those in. But, those guys, we love those guys. They were rocking. Terrence was doing a tasting experience in the booth when I was in there.
Yep.
I didn't even get to say hey to Fabian. He had 4 people around him every time I walked by. I did talk to Paul Palmer.
Oh, yeah. Always got to talk to Paul. See
Eduardo? Eduardo was not there.
Yeah,
no.
yeah, he had...
Max was there.
Max was there? Good.
Yeah,
good
Max
to see
was
Max.
there. Yeah.
Max. Always good to see Max.
But yeah, that was a quick one. And then I went, I got lunch, Cuban sandwich, actually pretty good. But I went around and I saw some other booths that we talked about. You want to save those for the end?
Yeah, we'll do kind of rapid fire with our boutiques at the end. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah,
Yep.
so that there was some time where I got to go see some people that we had talked about wanting to see.
Yeah.
After that was AJ. AJ, super interesting. We already had the new cigar in. They were featuring the Amar.
One of my favorite PCA releases since we've been doing this. It's a good cigar. It's full and strong. Not my cup of tea under normal circumstances, but loved it. But the idea that we had that in hand and then sold it in the store and had it on social media and everything like that while PCA was going on was awesome.
Yeah, and we already sold out.
We sold out of it.
I think more. We've already ordered more. They might be here tomorrow. I haven't got an invoice, but I got a UPS tracking notification that an AJ package would be delivered tomorrow. So I don't know.
Hell yeah, perfect.
It'd be great if it did. But obviously, customers love it. Unbelievable price point.
Great price point for this.
$10.50 to $11.50, I think is what it is on it. Robusto Toro Gordo. AJ was actually there. By the way, I did not speak to him, but he was doing interviews in the booth.
He's traditionally there, but he is hard to pin down.
Yeah.
I think he is doing a lot of his manufacturer business dealings behind the scenes and behind closed doors, that type of thing while he's there. But he's typically all there. And I will say, we're talking about the price point. They have been, in my opinion, and not everything fits the bill, but they have been nailing price point for the last few years. Even when 20th came out.
It was a $25 cigar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was...
Yeah. You were like, golly, because that was the year of 60 and 70 and $170 Legend cigars coming out. And that cigar was the best of all of them. And it came in, what was it? Was it 25?
$25.
It was like, damn, awesome packaging, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah. And then the other thing they had is the Nasser the Goat Connecticut. Now, Nasser he owns a retail store and was having exclusives made by AJ for him, and they decided to take it national and they distribute it, if I'm not mistaken. They have the Maduro, which I've smoked. It's good. It's strong, but it's good. This is the Connecticut. It was a great Nicaraguan Connecticut. Did smoke it. I smoked it yesterday. You
I
smoked
thought it
it
was
yesterday
excellent.
too.
Yeah.
If you saw our Instagram post, I posted it with no band, just commenting on the construction of it. It burned right. I mean, razor sharp burn line. AJ's one of those brands that you love, I love, but they take very good care of us. So there's a chance you see some more AJ stuff in the humidor.
It's just been growing with us too.
Yeah.
Like people know the name, but he just does an awesome job with the quality control, the pricing, the variety. There's kind of something for everybody within the lines. The only thing that I don't know, does AJ do anything flavored?
No.
I didn't think so.
No.
Okay, so, maybe not something for literally everybody, but traditional cigar smokers. And again, plenty of people's like AJ's not their thing. No problem. But it's been doing really well.
Yep. So next meeting, one of my favorite meetings I've started to look forward to every year, and that's with Kyle at Warped.
Warped, yeah.
We've talked on here about how great Kyle is. Kyle handles our account directly. I consider him a friend at this point in the industry.
Yep.
And I mean, I walked in the booth and he was with somebody and he didn't even look at my name tag. He was like, "Hey, Ethan, I'll be with you in a second." I was like, "Man, it's just a good dude, just a good dude."
And I like meetings with him because they're different than every other meeting.
Yeah,
because they're more just like a 30-minute conversation. Like, hey, how's it going? What's happening?
Yeah,
like,
get to talk to him about
here's
his
what we
wine.
got. This is why it's great. This is what it's going to be and stuff like that. But there's not a whole lot of, are you ready to write your order? What do you need? And like that. So, it's a, hey, I got you guys taking care of your set.
I literally asked him, "Do I need to pre-order the new product?" He said, "Absolutely not. We'll take care of it later."
Yep.
I was like, "Let's just talk."
Yeah.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But for those wondering about the new product, he's got a bunch coming. The only things that I knew that were coming were the new Piece Unique, which is a tweaked blend that will be coming out later this year. They call it the Piece Unique Salmon. That's not the actual name of it, but it's in like a salmon colored box.
Okay. Versus it's kind of a
like that
turquoise, turquoise, sky blue kind of thing. Yeah.
So that's coming. Tweaked blend, and then the Maestro del Tempo, which was a really great cigar back in the day. One of the best cigars he's ever made, in my opinion. Doing it the same way. It is I can't remember if he said if it's a 50 count box or a 100 count box. I think he said a 100 count box. 2 half wheels of 50 cigars in the box. Made at Aganorsa. Didn't have samples of it. Coming sometime this summer. That cigar, one of the ones I'm looking forward to the most. But he also is doing a new Alde Cocodrilo limited edition in a Toro Gordo size. He said that's going to be in the next 3 weeks or so. He is doing a new Gellis family cigar that's coming out of Naxa, which is where Sarto comes out of. It looked dark and decadent. He did not have samples of it. And then he's doing something that I still have very mixed feelings on. But I smoked it earlier today. And at this point, it's my favorite cigar I've smoked out of the show.
Oh, really?
Yes, that's how much I liked it.
We were just talking about it. You told me how much you liked it. I didn't realize it was your absolute favorite out there. Okay.
So what this cigar is it's called the Gellis Essentials. It is a 4.5 by 32, think the size of an Exquisito from Fuente, cigar, Connecticut wrapper, comes in a 50 count box. I asked him if it was mixed filler because I just assumed it was
small.
mixed filler.
It's small.
He wasn't offended by it, but he was like, "Do you think I'd do mixed filler?" To the point where apparently,
get out of my booth.
Yeah. He didn't get in an argument with La Isla about it. That's who's making it. But he had to buy and make special molds for them to make these cigars at La Isla and convince them to basically roll a very small, long filler cigar. Connecticut wrapper. I think it's Nicaraguan, Dominican binders and fillers. The flavor on it was fantastic.
Yep.
For a small cigar, it did not get hot. It burned. It took me probably 40 minutes to smoke it because it was long filler. Now, I was getting up and down with customers, obviously, but I will buy a box of them to keep on hand probably because I liked it that much. You will absolutely love it as much as you like Connecticut's. Here's the problem. The retail on it is $7. That's tough.
Yeah. Yep.
Because most people that want small cigars don't want to pay more than about $3 or $4
$3.50, $4.
Now, if you are a Warped fan,
that then there becomes the distinction, right? If you look to Warped, you don't see $4. That kind of thing. You're not. There's no expectation of that.
Yeah, and he's doing something really cool. He's doing this promotion where he's made these really nice leather cigar carrying cases that hold 6 of these cigars perfectly. And so he's going to do a promotion where if you buy a box from a retailer, you get one of these leather cases. I think he said the retail on them $70.
Damn.
So if you buy a box, you get one for free to keep your cigars in. It's such a hard sell. It may be one of those things where we either don't get it or we just bring a box in to see if it will sell. But if you're listening and you liked Warp and you want my personal opinion, I genuinely am going to buy a box for myself to keep on hand for when I want something quick, especially here, not knowing how busy we're going to be.
Yep.
If I want something short, fast, and delicious, the Tatuaje, Petit Cabaguan, and Petit Tatuaje have always been my favorite, and it shits all over them. That's how good it is. Yeah, I thought it was fantastic.
Wow.
So, I also got a really cool coffee cup from Colin. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I'm a coffee cup guy.
Sick coffee mug.
But yeah, and then I don't want to announce anything yet, but we did talk about the possibility of doing something together in the future. I hope it comes to fruition. A little partnering event with Cigars and Wine. So keep an eye out for that. He's a busy man, so timing may be an issue, but we did talk about it, and it's something that we really want to do. So I'm hoping that we can maybe work that out this year.
Yeah, it'd be sick.
Yeah. Next meeting was with a company that I showed up for, and the guy wasn't there, so I left.
Hell yeah.
Won't say who it was, but
there's always one of those.
I wasn't even really mad about it, but like
there's always one of those.
That was another time where I got to walk around and visit some more boutique people and actually sit down for a second. I sat down in the foundation booth for a little bit and talked to Greg. But the last meeting of the day was one that I was looking forward to about as much as Tatuaje, and that was with Illusione along with somebody else. But the other one is someone who don't carry, so we'll get there in a second. Illusione, you never know what they got coming. Just kind of a surprise at the show. And this year what they announced was a one-off black and tan Churchill, which is cool.
Yep.
They announced an Illusione PCA exclusive, which was ordered.
Yep.
I got a sample of it, hadn't smoked it yet. But the thing I'm most excited about, and the best cigar that I smoked the first day of the show, Illusione is bringing back the MK Ultra.
Oh, okay.
So the Ultra line, the MK line is a line that they do, or the Ultra line, I'm sorry, is a line that they do. It's a stronger, more full-bodied line, but the MK was the Corona size in that line. They're only doing 400 boxes of it. It was pre-ordered, and let me tell you something. It beat my ass. Like, it was... but the thing about Illusione Strong and Aganorsa Strong is it's sweet. The tobacco is sweet, and it makes you just want to keep smoking it, and then you get about 2/3 of the way through it, and you're just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited about that. Like, really excited about that. But then after that, went over and saw West Tampa. So West Tampa, brand that you and I have talked about a lot here recently. Hoping to possibly work something out with them to bring them in. They had the new barbershop, which I'm smoking right now, coming out of the same factory that their white, red, and black come out of.
Yes, they've got white, red, black is their
and then the devil
line,
crab,
and then devil crab,
and then also the circle of life. That's the only one that they don't make. That comes out of Ernesto EPC's factory,
which is not a bad factory to be coming out of.
No, not at all. But the new barbershop comes out in June. Like I said, I'm about done with it at this point. I think it's fantastic. I think if you like a medium to full-bodied Nicaraguan cigar that's really chocolatey and rich, checks all the boxes. It's clean tobacco. Rick is a super nice guy. He's a little eclectic. He reminds me a lot of Eric Espinosa, bro. I also met his daughter, Sarah, who lives in Charlotte, which I did not know. She was a sweetheart. Maybe get her here at the shop at some point if we end up moving forward with them. But, I think they're one of those brands that they're doing the right thing. They're not trying to be something they're not, and they're making great cigars.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been super impressed with their stuff since we kind of got introduced to it. Really kind of last year is when we kind of, at the show, kind of got introduced to it, and they were really starting to
gain some steam.
Yeah, there was a lot of buzz and talk about them and everything like that, for sure.
Yep, so that was the first day. Like I said, there was some other companies I talked to that we'll talk about here in a little bit. But it was a really good first day. Last year we had some unfortunate meetings. This year, none of that. All positive vibes.
Yep.
But yeah, finished up Saturday. Not that anybody cares. Had that pork chop again. Really good. Had a picture
You
of
had the pork chop back-to-back days?
Yeah.
It was that good?
It was that good.
There are very few things better than a banging pork chop, dude.
Yeah. And then they had pitchers of old fashions. That's NOLA for you right there. A pitcher of old fashioned. And we had, it was with the table.
Shout out Waylon for buying
I did not drink
pitchers.
2 pitchers, but the table had 2 pitchers of old fashioned. So that was good. But it was a really good first day. I thought the show floor was fairly busy. Some people told me that attendance felt down to them. It did not feel that way to me.
Okay.
But there were some booths that were busier than others, but everybody, for the most part, had people in it consistently.
Yeah.
So,
All right. So, you went out dinner with the boys, had a good time. Not too late, and we're working into Sunday,
Yep.
which is day 2. Now, there is a third day, Monday. We did not attend.
Yep.
We historically have not attended. It's a day that's light, to say the least.
Yeah.
Up until last year, there was a 4th day. Tuesday was a half day, or Monday was a half day, and they started on Friday. I can't remember how it was. That was a half day that almost seemed just
useless.
silly. Yep. Like, why do that? And I think they realize that too. So they've gone to that third day. And I think if you're like not short on time, but trying to see everybody, you can probably knock out a lot of the walking around and, hey, good to see you on Monday, just because it's so light and you can probably just got to do a lot of walking up and things like that. But waste of time for us is, I'm not saying it like that, but just not necessary, I guess, is for us. But so I'm actually going to light up my
next cigar. How did that one finish up?
Fantastic.
Yep.
Fantastic.
So what'd you get? The Domain?
So you gave me the Domain. This is their Connecticut. What is this? Can't read it. I don't have my glasses.
I don't know the name of their lines.
Attunation? Does that sound right? ATT. I can't read it very well.
Yeah, let me see it.
My apologies.
Very
bottom?
Yeah.
I cut it bad.
Attenuation.
Attenuation?
Attenuation.
Something like that. Yeah.
Connecticut wrapper. I don't, like I said, I'm not 100% sure on their bonders and fillers. I will say this barbershop just got really meaty.
Interesting. Okay.
Which was a really nice change of pace after being so chocolatey. Like, I'm big fan of this cigar. I wish I had another one, actually. But yeah, Sunday was more business. It was one of those things where PCA is what you make of it.
100%.
Right? And
If you go in there with a bad attitude, you're going to have a crappy time.
Correct. But it was also one of those things where if you want to go and conduct business, you got to remember it's a business trip. I know I've said that a bunch of times now on the podcast, but the reason I wanted to say it again is because when I got to the show Sunday morning, now mind you, it was raining. It was a little bit cooler. The show floor was noticeably dead. Like,
Ooh, the toast.
very, very not busy Sunday morning when I got there. Like that starting out.
Holy cow. Toasted marshmallow. Like,
Really?
that, you know what I'm talking about
Yeah.
when you kind of char.
Yeah, like a little burnt sugar kind of thing.
Yeah. Excellent.
Right on. But yeah, Sunday morning, a little weird, like I said, to start the day. Not for me. I didn't care. Obviously, it doesn't matter how many people are there. But I think I even texted you how noticeably slow it was.
Yeah, we
in the
talked that morning after you got there, and you had made mention it just felt lighter in the morning. And now, when we got back, I'm not surprised. Excuse me. I just know that there's probably plenty of people who know Saturday is going to be a night for them.
Yeah.
So maybe meeting scheduling happens a little bit more towards lunchtime and everything like that.
By about 12:30, 1 o'clock, it was rocking again. I think it was people just getting late starts to their day. Yeah, but getting back into it. I mean, we were right back at it. I was back at it at 10:30 that morning with Romacraft. Excuse me. Don't know where that came from. Romacraft. So Romacraft, nothing new on display, but Romacraft was actually probably my favorite meeting that I had at the show. And I texted you about this. I actually met with Skip Martin himself. And he sat down with me for literally 30 minutes and was pushing off interviews. Even the Half-Wheel guy came up to interview him.
Yeah.
And he was like trying to get an interview with him. And Skip was just like, I'm with a customer. And I was like, my man, I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. But he went through and spent 30 minutes with me about how they handle the logistics of their inventory. And it was the most impressive thing to see because of the tools that he gives his people in the office so that they can see what's being made in Nicaragua right now and when it's going to be available to sell.
Yep.
He was, and the thing I appreciated too was like, he told me, I don't want you to carry everything. I want you to carry the things that sell. So if you want to carry all 6 sizes of Whiskey Rebellion, do it. But if you've only got 3 that sell, I'd rather you just carry those 3 and carry something else that sells for you because I want you to make money.
And we know, they don't, they set their production numbers, right?
Yes, and he showed me the spreadsheet of we're making Cro-Magnon in the cranium and the EMH size in September of last year. And so that's what's shipping first. And then October, we're making these other 3 sizes. That's coming next. And he was showing me how the waves come. And he was like, this is why we want you to order this way. We're not trying to stock you up with inventory too much. That's why we always call you before stuff ships. Because if you just order, let's say you order 10 boxes of every size of Cro-Magnon, they're not all going to come at once. But there's a chance you miss turns on it because you either didn't order enough or there's a chance you have your money tied up because you ordered too much.
Right.
He was like, I would rather you go ahead and order 4 boxes of every size you want, get it on order, and then a week after the show, order another 4 boxes of everything else because you're going to get your 4 boxes first. And then in 2 months, when this next wave from Nicaragua comes in, you're going to get these next 4 boxes. But if you don't need them, you can call us and tell us, hey, we'll send it somewhere else. It's no problem.
Because they set those production numbers, they know what they have, they know their stores, and they can say, it's like, bro, it's fine because we've got a store in Pennsylvania who does much, their customer base really does well with this particular shape and size.
Yep.
And they would like to have a few more of those if they could.
Yep.
They know where it goes. They've got it dialed in, and they're not just dumping it on you because they made it.
Yeah, and I mean, I'd never met Skip. I'd met Mike plenty of times. I talked to
Rosales
Mike, who's a super nice guy. But being able to sit down and talk with Skip, I jokingly texted you and said I would go to war for that guy after the meeting. But like, I really appreciate the way that they handle business.
Yes, definitely.
Real quick, I'm firing up my next cigar.
It's a chamale.
It's a chamale. The only chamale I've never smoked. This is the purple one that has a name that I don't know. I think it's broadleaf.
Okay.
We'll let you know how it is, but hold on a second while I fire this up.
Yeah, and while you're doing that, I've got a chance to meet Skip many times now at this point. He likes holding court. He's more than willing to talk. He's super honest about stuff, straightforward about it. And like you said, like he will tell you, like, here's how it is, here's what it is, here's what we got. We want to be successful with Roma Craft, but they want us to be successful with Roma Craft, which I don't think is always the case.
So I actually asked him before the meeting really got started. I was like, hey, we're thinking about bringing these guys in, and I won't say the brand name. And there's rumor in the industry that Roma Craft and this other company have a little bit of strife between them.
Oh, interesting.
And I said, listen, we have a great relationship with you guys. We don't want to screw that up. If we bring this in, is this going to like upset you guys or anything like that? And I know that's a silly question, but you know how people in the cigar industry can be.
Sure.
And Skip's answer was, I don't care who you bring, I just want you to make money. And that's partnership, right? Like that's
100%.
the building the relationship. And a lot of companies I don't think would say that.
No.
Right? They want you to carry their stuff and their stuff only.
Yep.
But he was like, listen, if it's our stuff or another stuff, we just want you to be making money and be successful. And I really appreciate that. But right beside them was the how did we decide to say this? Postanoki, the Poconos.
I always just say Postani.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Yeah.
Now that may not be right.
Yeah.
But that's what I've said about it.
Yeah. So right beside
It's
them
it's the P with the arrow pointing down.
Yeah. It means uprising in Dutch, even though I don't speak freaky deaky Dutch.
Okay. All right.
You want to say them for the end, or you want me to go over that real quick?
Go ahead. You're fine.
All right. So they've got, never had I smoked any of their cigars. We had never smoked any of their cigars. But Half Wheel's number 2 cigar of the year last year, good price points coming out of Roma Craft's factory.
Yep.
Interested to talk to them. They've got 4 different lines, a Connecticut, a Corojo, or a Habano, can't remember, a San Andreas, and then they were releasing a Sumatran at the show. like I said, I smoked the San Andreas, and even on a messed up palate, it was awesome. You just said the one you smoked was awesome.
Great.
Seems like they've got good stuff. Met the owner of the company. Super good dude. Gave me a cell phone number. Was like, just call me. If you want to make something work, we'll make it work. I'd love to come do an event. But the thing that I was most excited about coming out of the show is something that they're doing. I think it's a really great idea, and we've talked about it a couple times now. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it's like smoke this and get one, smoke this and share one, something like that. But what they do is they have this program for retailers where it's a bundle program, but it's a long filler cigar. It's not coming out of Nicosueña. They didn't have samples of it, unfortunately. But the shtick is for retailers to be able to offer an ongoing 3-in-1, buy 3, get 1 on these cigars in the humidor so that they can compete with online retailers. Done with retailers in mind. I think it's a brilliant idea. Like I said, I have not smoked the cigars. If they're anything like the cigar that you smoked and the one that I smoked at the show, I'm here for it. Like,
yeah.
That's innovation from a company that I've never seen before, that I can't remember seeing, that they wanted to do so that the retailer can make more money. And the cigars retail for $8. So if a consumer can come in and get 4 cigars for $24 before tax, they're getting one for free on top of it. We're still making good margin on it. That's a win-win for everybody.
Yep.
And so, not saying it's going to happen one way or the other. We got to talk about it, but I love that, and I love what they're doing.
The execution of that's good. Agreed.
Yep. So right after that was Drew Estate. Drew Estate had already announced what they had coming, and we have it now. It's available now. It got here yesterday.
Deadwood Dominicana.
Buenas noches in the El Tigre Dominicana.
El Tigre.
The Underground. Now,
The Tiger.
that's not what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about real quick is what I believe to be the most important thing to come out of the show that has gotten overshadowed by all the new stuff.
Oh, breaking news.
And that is the fact that Drew Estate's opening a factory in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah. Yep.
That is massive.
Humongous.
They now join the ranks of Fuente opening in Nicaragua and My Father opening in Honduras. This opens up a world of possibilities. We've already got a Dominican Deadwood, obviously, but now we have a Dominican Underground. Dominican Liga certainly has to be coming. Dominican Nica Rustica certainly has to be coming.
I would be floored if Dominican Nica Rustica is not what's debuted next year at PCA.
Yeah, I mean, just it's wild because Drew Estate is like, if Foundation and Nick are Connecticut, like Drew Estate has always been like Nicaragua, right? Like they've always really embraced Nicaraguan culture.
Yep.
So for them to go to the Dominican Republic and not only do the factory, but they also have farms and fields from the way I understand it, massive. It opens up a world of possibilities for them. And the other interesting thing, and I did not talk to him, he was always busy, I didn't get any samples, but Jonathan Drew coming out with his own line of cigars, JD and Sons. He's doing his new retail store for his son, but he's coming out with a new line of cigars too. I heard nobody talk about it. I don't know who got samples of it, but it was always busy just because it was Jonathan, I guess.
Yeah,
if nothing else.
Yep.
But between both of those things, like I feel like if this wasn't PCA right now, that's what we would be talking about. But because PCA is happening, there's so much news coming out right now. It's kind of forgotten about. And actually, I did a little Ask Me Anything on the way back. And one of the questions was like, what was the biggest thing at the show? And that is it, in my opinion. Like, that is massive.
Yeah, them branching out, like you said, they've been so ingrained in Nicaragua. But listen, it makes sense. Like, you know, the world is a delicate place right now for everybody, but for the cigar business and where they're made and, you know, political things and what can happen so quickly that you need to be able to pivot to make sure your business is healthy.
Yep.
I mean, we believe that be a lot of the reason behind the My Father opening in Honduras, right? Like close by, but, you know, stable might be a stretch, but a different political environment than it is in Nicaragua at the moment. And that could very much, you know, be the reasoning for Dominican and just being able to offer new lines, reach new customers who just, you know, never really got on board with Drew because they were just not there for Nicaraguan stuff. We love Nicaraguan cigars, but not everybody does. A lot of people's palate fits that Dominican, more mild type of vibe.
Well, and at this point, in my opinion, when you're as big as you are, if you're Fuente, you're my father, you're Drew, the only way to get more market share is by doing something like this.
Yes.
You've pretty much done everything you can in Nicaragua or the DR, depending on where you've been.
Let's be honest. You've done a lot of the blends.
Yep.
Right? There's only so many.
You got something for everybody at this point.
There's only so many.
In your flavor profile that you do. What you're missing out on is something you can't do where you're at right now. So this is what has to happen. So
the Undercrown is Dominican.
Yes.
And then Deadwood Dominicana, also Dominican. And if you remember last year was the release of Deadwood Dominicana, right? Which was a Dominican Deadwood series flavored cigar, Connecticut wrapper, instant hit. Sells like crazy. No surprise. We knew that was going to be the case. We called it the moment we saw it. This is another Deadwood Dominican, but with a Maduro wrapper, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yep, agreed.
Yep.
Yeah, so that was Drew. Plasencia was next. Plasencia, no new cigars other than their World Cup cigar, which we'll be getting a couple boxes of.
Yep.
It's expensive, but we will be getting it. But rebranding. Now, before the show happened, they released their new logo, and I thought it was stupid. I thought it looked like someone on clip art made this logo. In person, unbelievable job. The cohesiveness of it on their packaging, they made the Alma del Campo look like it's part of the Alma line.
Yep.
The new Alma de Fuego boxes, awesome. The gold that they're using on the bands and everything pops. Great job. 10 out of 10 rebranding. Big fan of it in person.
That's good. That's good because rebrands are tough. Can be tough. Well, I just think they are tough because you're really taking the chance of alienating a huge chunk of your customer base because it may not be the look, especially if you go dramatic and drastic as far as the change is concerned. There's plenty of people who do subtle ones and everything like that, but that could very much change how that looks.
Yeah.
And, people could be like, oh, that kind of thing. So it's good to hear that, after you saw it on packaging that it looked good or whatever. So
next was the one that probably a lot of people are waiting for, and that's Fuente. Now, I want to preface this by saying...
Arturo Fuente?
Yeah, sí.
Sí, señor.
Everything that I'm about to say ain't got no damn clue when it's coming.
Yep, don't ask.
It could be 3 weeks, it could be 3 months, it could be 3 years.
Yeah.
There ain't no telling. So, but what
They've
was
done
on...
better. They've done better. I'll give them some credit that.
But new Summer of Love sampler. No new cigars in it, but they're doing a promotion again this summer with the Summer of Love where you're going to be able to get a sampler that has cigars in it that they haven't released or in a while or in limited
Were they
qualities.
all Opus?
No. It's 4 rare pinks, 2 Dubai, 2 25th, and then 2 something else. But the Dubai and the 25th, obviously, hard to get, hard to come by.
Yep.
They did have black pinks on display, and I was told that we will be getting them this year. So 3 years later, after announcing black pinks, we are supposedly getting them with our rare pink shipment this year.
60% of the time, it works every time. Yeah. Okay. Sex Panther is here.
Sex Panther's coming. They had a brand new Opus on display, 2 brand new Opus, actually. The Baby Shark, which...
Baby Shark.
Yeah, that song is the bane of my existence. Looked like a smaller... I couldn't tell if it was an actual shark. Like, I couldn't tell if it was box pressed or not. It was torpedo. Supposedly summer. Who knows? It could be summer this year or next year.
Now that you say that, I don't remember. I feel like it was.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then no name to it, but an American-themed Opus. Now, if you're doing an American-themed Opus, I would think it's for the 250th
try to
anniversary.
Knock it down right around July 4th sometime.
And what I was told is we don't know if it's coming this year.
Hell yeah. I like a 250th anniversary cigar that comes out on the 251st year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It looked cool.
Year 0 doesn't count in the millennium. So
That's right.
Maybe that's what they're thinking.
Yeah, it looked really cool. No earthly idea when it's coming. But, you know, they always have an awesome booth. It's always rocking right beside the J.C. Newman booth, which is a fan favorite. That's what they said was coming this year. More of the Don Carlos 90th, by the way, the one that the Dos Capas.
That I was excited to hear. I didn't know that until you told me after the fact. That cigar was a major hit last year. Now, not very many of them. Kind of were under the impression there were no more of them. So interested how we came about to have more. Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, I didn't get into that, but yeah.
But price point was great on it, right?
It's like $13.
Yeah, it was awesome. The big box was cool. So yeah, I'm here for that coming back out.
So after that was another boutique meeting. You want me to go over? Or you want me to save it till the end and we?
Yeah, we'll save the super boutiques for the end. So we'll hit the majors real quick.
So then after that was Esteban Carrera, also one of the companies going after that sweet cap market. They came out with the Las Cañas Maduro last year. This year there's a Las Cañas Connecticut. Not much to say about that.
We'll see. The Las Cañas from last year was not a big hit. Chance maybe that the Connecticut is a bit better.
Yeah, it's coming, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Not as many as we got last year, but
yeah.
It's coming. But what they are doing that I'm excited about is they're doing 10s of their lines in smaller sizes. Now, the smaller sizes are about the size of like a Cracker Crumb or a Petite Tatuaje. They're not cigarillos. Retail on them is going to be about $22 for a 5-pack. Metal tins, Chupacabra, Devil's Hand, Brownstone, sorry.
I was like, black?
Yeah, couldn't think of the name of it for a second. And two other ones.
Unforsaken?
Maybe. I don't know. There's 5 different ones. I think it is Unforsaken.
Yeah.
But I think that'll be really good. Like I said, the small cigars were a big theme this year. I like what they're doing. I think they'll be good. I think they'll sell, especially at that price point, right? So, Rocky Patel, Sapphire, Year of the Horse.
Yep.
Coming in June. Not much to say about it.
Kind of SOP, standard operating procedure there. You got
an
anniversary limited and then something new.
Yeah, I will say Year of the Horse retail this year is 25 instead of 35.
Much better.
I think they learned their lesson.
And have you smoked the Sapphire yet?
No, I only got one.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting when you smoke that. You know, their last couple have been good.
Yeah.
Last couple of releases have been good. Emerald was good, and some stuff before that. They've, not everything, in my opinion, has been a hit, but they have their market, they have their fans, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yep. LFD, Project Carbon Fiber, announced right before the show. There's I think the company's name is Project Carbon Fiber that makes these cases, but I can't remember. It's a company that deals with in carbon fiber products.
Yep.
5-pack of the cigar in it is specifically made for this case. Retail on it is expensive. Retail's $200 on it, but you get a carbon fiber case that's a 5-count cigar case that looks really cool, and you get 5 of the cigars. We will be getting some, not a large quantity. I think that if you're an LFD fan, it's a can't miss.
Yep.
I think if you're not an LFD fan and you want a cool carbon fiber case, it's a can't miss. If you don't want to spend that much on either of them, then I get it. But there's not a lot of them. It's for a very specific market. We'll see how it sells. It does look awesome. The black and silver band that they did for the LFD cigar is sick. The carbon fiber case is really cool. It's a novel idea, but it's one that I think can work. Now, they did say that there's a core line that may be coming out later this year, but they're not sure. Who knows? Didn't tell any details about it. We'll see what happens. And then by the time this podcast comes out, we'll probably be out of them. But we did get some bulls with the show
nice
deal.
Nice little resupply of bulls, yep.
So we have had some bulls at the store. So 2 more meetings before we get into the boutique cool stuff. 2.5. Fratello. Fratello is a company we brought in last year.
Yep.
It didn't do as well as we hoped it would, but Omar's a great guy, and so I had a meeting with him. They're coming out with a 250th anniversary cigar, just like everybody. They're coming out with their new Dominican Puro, which is called the 1821, which is apparently an important year in the Dominican Republic. Need to consult Cole, our history guy, about that because I can't remember what it was for. But they've got 2 other things that are coming out that are super interesting. They're going after the Tatiana market.
Oh, interesting.
They have 4 new cigarillo packs coming out that are flavored cigars that are flavored like your Tatianas. Like, it's not like vanilla, honey, chocolate, whatever. It's like they have a groovy blue. They have an CAO does Eileen's Dream, but they have like the Irish coffee and cream.
Yep.
They have like your honey and ambrosia kind of flavored. Not sure when they're shipping. Not sure when they'll be coming out. Not sure if we'll get them, if I'm being honest with you, but it was a cool idea to see somebody else doing something like that. But the most interesting thing that they had is they do this project called the Concealed Carry. And Concealed Carry is a retail partnership that you have to be invited to, and we were asked to join it. What they do is they have a theme every year, and the theme this year is Cuba. So every 2.5 months, a retailer gets 5 boxes of cigars, and it's a different cigar every time. The cigars retail for $10, so great price point on it.
Yeah, okay.
And it's a different blend every time, and like I said, this year is Cuba. So you've got like the Revolution, you've got one called Fidel, you've got one called like Las Provincias, you've got one called the USSR, talking about the Russian War and Cold War ties back to it. I love the idea because it's not just leftovers. They actually, Omar blended the cigars for it, so we're not getting into Privada Cigar Club territory.
Right.
And they also have a really good price point on them. So be curious to see how that goes. Omar was very excited about it. They've also started doing some new things that I've never seen for retail partners. Some things that they're trying to do to make the relationship, more of a win-win for everybody. And I appreciate that. They also have a new portal, which I appreciate. Everybody should have a portal. So it was a good meeting. We'll see what happens. But I will give Omar credit. That dude is the most energetic and happy dude in the doggone industry. Now,
nobody with more energy than Omar.
No, he's such a nice guy. Now, the half meeting. I had a meeting set up with QI. I got to the booth, and unfortunately, our rep for QI was busy. And unfortunately for him, nobody else in the booth said anything to me. Yeah. But I did look at the new lighters. So if the Pro Flame lighter that Perdomo has is the new cool lighter, the Zycar MagSafe lighter and cutter is the miss of the show, in my opinion.
This is the lighter that had basically a cutter that
it's magnetic
to the back of the lighter.
Yep.
So
2 reasons.
Yeah, I was gonna say, give me the reasons. Oh boy.
Not the chamale.
Chamale.
Really good, by the way.
Yeah. You almost burnt your chamale, bro.
Seriously. Chinese are trying to get me. 2 reasons. One was build quality. That's the first reason.
Yep.
So obviously Apple has MagSafe.
Yep.
You've got magnets in the back of your phone, and it's gotten much better over time, right? Magnets now are really strong. Everybody's got the magnetic phone holder, the magnetic charger, and your phone don't come off of it, right?
Yep.
This is like version 1 of MagSafe, where the magnets were not strong enough.
The cutter's just falling off.
Not falling off,
but a little bit of nudge and it's gone.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you're carrying this in your pocket,
you pull it out, you're leaving the cutter inside.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct. The lighter is also a single flame lighter, which is fine, but not when you include the price point, which is the second reason. In the cutter felt, it's metal, but it was a little hard to use because of how small it was. There was no finger holes on it.
Yes, you're very much trying to...
You're trying to pinch it on the side.
Yep.
The lighter... The lighter just didn't feel good.
It just wasn't...
It just wasn't good. Price point on it retails $120. It's a cool idea. Like, I'll give it to him. It was a great idea. Very poor execution.
Yeah. $120, it's like, damn, like, you get 2 separate, very good lighters and cutters for $120 or less.
Yeah, or in my opinion, what you do is you buy the best cutter on the market, which is the XO at $100, and then get you the best cheap lighter on the market at the Paleo Vesuvio, and you're rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
Like,
yep.
I don't know how it's going to sell. I know the big thing in accessories here recently has been lighters that have cutters built into it. The Paleo that has the V cutter built into it feels better than this $120 set.
Yeah.
It just did not impress me. And the colors on it weren't great, and some of the samples already had paint chipping off of them.
Ooh, not a good look.
No. So
not a good look.
I was not impressed by it. Josh, if you listen to this, that's why I didn't say anything to you about it. just didn't do it for me.
Yeah.
But the last meeting of the day, before we get into the boutique stuff, and it kind of leads into boutique stuff, was Laudisi. So Laudisi, obviously, the business that we do with them currently is Cornell and Deal pipe tobacco and pipes.
Yep.
Not many new pipes on display, not much new pipe tobacco on display, but their booth was rocking.
Nice.
Rocking. I mean, rocking and rolling. But they also do Caldwell cigars, something that we have talked about before. They do have a couple new cigars coming out. I did not smoke either of them. I smoked what is my favorite Caldwell cigar, which is the Mad Mofo Maduro, when I was talking with them. But I will say the thing I give them credit for is they're incentivizing retailers in a very aggressive ways to bring in and try out the product.
Yep.
And that's very appreciated on our end, obviously. But I will say, at least talking with people at the show, it seemed like there was some hype around it. Robert was in the booth talking with people, and so there was no long gone were the days of Robert leaving a table with trash all over it, trying to make some kind of statement or whatever, like he did at that PCA. He was engaging with customers, talking with customers, seemed excited about the product. So I think they have a really good thing going. We talked with them about the possibility of bringing them in. We'll see what happens with that. But it was a good way to end the show with the meetings.
Yeah. So, question: we know, we're one of the few pipe tobacco retailers in our area, if not the only one, to be honest with you, at least in the scope for which we do it. How much of the busyness that you saw in their booth was attributed to the pipe and pipe tobacco piece?
Every time I was in there, it was about half and half.
Okay, that's great.
So, they do the pipe wall, right?
Yes.
They have the pipe wall. They have all the pipes displays. And then not all of the pipes are for sale, but some of them are for sale. They were, sold out by the end of the show. And the pipes that were for sale were 7 autographs, the $500 and $600 pipes. Yeah. I was shocked. And not even by the end of the show. That was on Sunday, so there was another half day.
A whole nother half.
There was a whole nother half day.
Yeah, a whole day on Monday.
Yeah, I mean, they were rocking.
Wow. Good for them.
Yeah, and they had some really good pipe deals, some aggressive pipe deals, really pushing Molina. That seems to be going well. They had their Peterson package and all that. But, yeah, I mean, it was a good way to end the show. We're obviously friends with Franklin and friends with the rep, genuinely friends.
But we would still be doing business with them regardless.
Yes.
Because they are Peterson, they are Savinelli, they are Cornell and Deal. They mesh well the modernism along with what is kind of the old school of pipe and pipe tobacco and everything like that. They blended it very nicely, aesthetically, in all of that. So they're who you do business with in that space, especially in a time of consolidation and elimination in the pipe tobacco world, right? So, they've done a good job of making pipes and pipe tobaccos kind of cool, for lack of a better term. It is, pipes are an interesting dichotomy where can be very cyclical. There's very waves in the popularity of it, but it seems to flow in that pattern, right? And they've done a good job of kind of placing themselves as kind of the preeminent company in that space.
Yep. But yeah, so those were the meetings other than the boutiques. And the boutiques were honestly, all right, so last year came out of the show excited about the Blue, excited about Legacy, excited about things of companies that we carried, and then I was excited about Chamali, obviously.
Yep.
This year, I'm excited about the things coming out, but I really got the opportunity to talk with a lot of companies that we've never carried before to see what they offer, and I feel like every company I talk to genuinely cares about the industry. They're not just trying to put out hokey shit, for lack of better words. They're trying to make good cigars and make the industry better with their cigars. Yeah. It sounds a little silly to say, but it felt like there for a little bit there were some companies that were just throwing stuff at the wall and were customers will buy whatever, so we don't care.
Yeah.
That was not the case with anybody that I talked to.
Yep.
So
boutique-wise, so we had a strategy, and we strategically were talking about before, when you and I both were intending to go into when you were going on your own, that we wanted to look into and broach the subject with more than just one or two boutique to ultra boutique companies.
Yep.
there's no secret that our humidor is going to be a bit bigger. We're going to have some space to maybe bring in a larger variety of these smaller companies that kind of the boutique cigar people gravitate to. We've got a good grasp on what our mass, producing manufacturers are, but we wanted to maybe touch on those and introduce people to those a little bit. So, yeah, let's go through rapid fire kind of some of these companies that we talked to, that you talked about with, and what they were having. No particular order if you want to, but yeah, let's touch on some of them.
Start with Shamali because I'm smoking it.
Yep.
Saw those guys again. One thing I'll say about them is the steam that they gained after the show last year. Impressive. I'm not saying I had anything to do with that, but
yeah,
I mean, what they've done, Fox Cigar bringing them in, them doing an exclusive with Fox. The only new cigar they had was a new size on the red line. I can't remember the names of their lines. Their booth was always busy. They're really nice guys. We'll see.
Yeah.
The meeting that I had with boutique guys were HDA and Lure. So those not familiar with HDA, it's Hermanos de Armas, Brothers in Arms. It's a veteran-owned company whose cigars are coming out of the Blackworks Black Label Factory, if I'm not mistaken. They've got 3 lines of cigars, and they do a limited edition every year. I'd actually spoken with the owner beforehand. He had messaged us on Instagram before, so it was good to meet him. I like what they're doing. We haven't smoked any of their cigars yet.
Not yet, no.
We've got one of each of their lines. A couple customers have mentioned it. Obviously, we've got 2 veterans that work for us. We have a lot of customers that are veterans. We want to bring in and have been talking about bringing in a veteran-owned company that makes good cigars and isn't just trying to sell cigars because they're veterans.
Yep.
Right? These guys are that. They're the real deal. Great conversation with them. And then right after that, I went and talked to Lure Cigars. Lure Cigars, I know, is one of your favorites. You got the sticker on your computer, I think.
Yep.
All fishing themed. Really cool booth. Met the owner, his wife, and his daughter and his daughter's boyfriends were the ones working it.
Nice.
So like a true family-owned company. Everything they do is in 10 packs. They have their fish stick, which is their inexpensive cigar that was in a new 5-pack that looked like a bag of bait, like a bag of plastic, like your rubber worms that you would fish with. Like that's what it looked like.
Yep.
Had a new cigar coming out called the Wahoo, fishing themed. Beach market, screamed you're going out on the lake and fishing.
Yep.
Great marketing, great branding. Cigars coming out of AJ's factory.
Yep.
Just really cool. I like what they're doing. Talk to Rojas Cigars. Rojas is one that we carried in the past. We brought in Rojas back in 2015. He was at Microfest when it was just Sabor de Esteli and Guayacán. He's obviously expanded since then, does the street tacos, does his Rojas line of cigars. Love the packaging on the street tacos. And Noel is a really good guy. His mentor was Arsenio Ramos before he passed away, which is Aganorsa's old master blender. Talked to them, obviously talked to Domain, talked to Pastani is how I'm going to say it. Crown Heads, another one. So Crown Heads, another one that we carried in the past.
Yep.
Crown Heads seemed to lose their focus. We'll call it late 2010s, but they seem to have refocused in a great way.
Yep.
The new packaging and branding that they have is awesome. A lot of their stuff is coming out of the My Father factory, or I think the Mil Diaz may come out of La Isla. I don't remember. But the boxes look great. The bands look great. The cigar that I smoked was good. They also have a new cigar called Broadway, or it's new-ish, that comes out of Noxa, which is where Sarto comes out of, where Dumbarton comes out of, where a lot of the big broadleafs come out of.
Yep.
It's a broadleaf cigar. They're new cigars, Moonflower, Moonwalk, Moontrance, something like that. New cigar coming out of the My Father factory. I did not smoke it, but Mike did, and Mike is very particular. He said it was great. And then they also do the Ozinger family cigars. The new Ozinger family cigar has a Brazilian-era Paraca wrapper that is coming out of My Father's Honduran factory. My father has never worked with Brazilian-era Paraca before. So this is new for my father, but also new for them. I do have a sample of it. Hadn't smoked it, but really excited to try it. I like the refocus on it.
Yep.
I like what they're doing. And they've always made good cigars. It's just they needed to refocus, and they've done a good job doing it. Spoke with Definition Cigars.
Yep.
You smoked one yesterday.
Yep.
You said it tasted
good.
pretty good.
Solid.
I got some samples of it. Much smaller production. I don't even remember what factory they're coming out of, if I'm being honest with you. But Really, really good folks. Like their bands a lot. Really cool.
Yeah, I do too.
Yep. Talked to the guys at Black Stogies. They reached out to us personally on Instagram and asked us to stop by. They're based out of Raleigh. One of the guys had been to our Durham location before. They do everything from flavored to traditional cigars. Still haven't had a chance to smoke any of them yet, but I know they're slowly but surely starting to gain a little steam, especially in the flavored market of things. Just really nice guys.
Yep.
Like I said, based out of Raleigh. Who else? I feel like I'm leaving a couple out.
HDA, Definition, Lure, Domain, Postani, West Tampa, Crowned Heads. I feel like that covers it. I'm trying to,
Yeah, there were a couple
Black
other that I
Stogies.
wanted to go talk to that every time I walked by, I didn't have
line
a
up.
meeting and
Yeah.
I couldn't get in with them. Like someone told me to go try and get a red pill from Patina. I walked by that booth probably 15 times and could never get in. Someone mentioned Adventura doing really good stuff. I've smoked the Queen's Pearls before, and that is good, but
Avowed. Did you go by Avowed? I can't remember.
I didn't see them.
Okay.
So that
good.
was the other thing. We've had a couple customers asked about like Avowed and Warfighter and a couple other ones. They were probably there.
Can't see everybody.
Couldn't
Impossible.
see everybody, or I just didn't see them in general. But there's one other one that we can finally talk about now because he announced it. And he didn't display at the show, but he was handing out samples.
Oh, did he bring samples and handed them out?
Yep. So I gave actually some samples to Josh at Burners and Charlie.
Okay, good.
A couple other people too.
Yeah, when we're breaking news maybe to our listeners, maybe. But he broke it on Instagram on Sunday,
Yep.
something like
so
that.
I can finally talk about this.
Yeah.
Good friend, Mr. Mike Martello Cigar Company, Ortolan, is coming out this year. He's hoping sometime in July. When I told everybody on the podcast last year that my favorite cigar of the year was one I couldn't talk about, that
This
was
is
it.
that one.
This cigar is cigar of the year, unless I'm proven otherwise, and it's going to take a hell of a cigar to
It's unbelievable.
change.
And this
my
is
mind.
not us blowing smoke up a friend's ass or
Yeah,
anything like that.
and
It is unbelievably good.
So last year, Mike told me about this project. He's making it down at El Titan de Bronze in Miami. Very Cuban in style. He's doing it in a ceramic jar. But he sent me a sample of one of the first 10 that he had, and he said, I need you to be very honest with me. And I told him, I said, listen, I'm going to go smoke this thing, and I'm going to be brutal. I am going to rip you a new asshole if it's not good, dog. And I sat outside and smoked it, took notes, just drinking water, and I called him after, and I said, Mike, I'm not telling you this because you're my friend, because I really wanted to find something wrong with this cigar, but I couldn't. Like, I know you probably don't believe me when I'm telling you that, but I couldn't. And I have smoked, outside of Mike, probably more than anybody at this point, because Mike's very generous and sends them to me. And it's consistent, it's flavorful, it is unbelievable, and I cannot wait to be able to sell it.
Yep.
Everybody that is listening to this needs to try it. Everybody that I've given it to or Mike has given it to, yourself, Robbie, Austin, Cole, all his friends, like everybody has loved it. Everybody at the show that smoked it loved it.
Yeah, and giving it to people who don't know Mike, don't know
Correct.
the relationship, are just like, whoa, what is this? Yeah.
Correct. So that, if there's anything I'm excited about coming out of the show, it's that. Selfishly,
it was
and-
awesome to see him be able to do the big release, like to talk about it finally, and to be able to do that for sure. Because we've been, we would never spoil it, but we've been sitting on this news for close to a year. Yeah. We're gonna have it here. We're hoping to do maybe even some sort of like release party with him, which would be awesome. Obviously, he's going to be pulled in a million different directions. He's got a million things going on, but we're going to be proud to carry it, and it's going to be awesome. It is a no doubter, unbelievably good cigar.
Yeah.
Home run.
Yeah, and I'm excited for what the future holds with him. I told him on Sunday when I saw him, I genuinely feel like at some point we'll be coming to the show to see him to be ordering cigars. Like,
Yes.
Yep. That is my hope for him. But if it's as well received as I think it's going to be received, I think he's got something.
I do too.
I really
I do too. I 100%. So we're gonna have him in. Did you just say it when it's obviously a moving target, but
He's hoping
summertime,
July.
right? Yeah.
He's hoping July. So as it stands right now, and this is all up in the air. Obviously, I talked about the store that he's opening up with his new business partner.
Yep.
They're shooting for August for that. If the jars get here in time, because they're being made right now, and he can get them packaged, he will be here for an event in July. If it's after that, then it may be a little bit before we get him here for an event. We'll have the cigar before then, obviously, but if he's got to be up there to get that store open.
Oh,
so
God, yeah.
timing's a little iffy on an event, but not on the cigar. We'll have the cigar this summer.
Yep. PCA 2026 in the books. Had a good time. What are you, so we'll wrap it up, what are you most looking forward to now to smoke that you brought back that you haven't smoked yet? The My Father?
The My Father's up there. The new Crown Heads is up there just because Mike likes it so much. The new Tat 20 Black Label.
Yep.
Still hadn't smoked that. The Illusione PCA is up there. But honestly, like that stuff I know I'm going to like.
Yeah.
The stuff I'm excited about is the stuff that we don't carry.
Yeah.
Just to see what everybody else has got going on.
Yeah.
The Domain, the Lure, the HDA, I'm really excited to smoke. Just to see, because, unfortunately, like you said, we can't carry everything, but we are looking to see what we can do on a couple of these things, and these brands are excited about their product, and that got me excited about their product.
100%.
And that was good to see.
Yep. All right, that wraps us up, man. Hopefully by the next podcast that we put out, this will be out in the next couple days, so you'll be hearing this probably before we open up. But by the time that our next podcast, hopefully we're open in the new Greensboro store. We are really close now. So if you're listening to this, be on the lookout for text messages, emails, social media posts, giving you some updates as to when this is going to happen. And we're going to give everybody a decent amount of notice that we can. But we're excited and eager to get over here, and we need to get over here. So you're seeing us now sitting in front of here before we get moved into our full podcast. Nice thing is we can do pods from just about anywhere in this place.
Yeah.
We can shake it up, do whatever we want. So excited for that. Be on the lookout. We've announced some events. Cigar Club is back. Once we get in here, you're going to be flooded with new stuff that we've got going on. So, but this is priority number one. So glad you had a good time at PCA. Excited for all this new stuff, and see you next time.
See you next time.
Perfect.
Yeah, between two burns, yeah, between two burns. Come and join the convo. Jason and Ethan here to talk, yo. Chillin' while we filling up the room with cigar smoke. Hey, between two burns, yeah, between two burns. This be the show that you like. We always keeping it hype. We got cigars in the mic, talking the pipe and the pint. Let's go.